A lot of stuff going on in the housing market, the investing market. Let's get into it. First, read an article about $45 billion of trophy loans. That would be office, retail, and yes, even some multifamily. That is coming due by the end of 2024. That is already highlighted at being at risk. What does this mean? Folks, the commercial market is a market that I have been warning about for about a year or so. And it's because of the debt structure. The debt structure, just like residential in the '08 apocalypse, is short-term, variable rate with bad assumptions. And $45 billion in commercial loans, office, retail, multifamily, has already been identified as a problem. Now, banks can extend and pretend. Sellers could list and try to fire sell, or current owners will be writing a huge check, which think of it as like a balloon payment, to bring down the debt so that they could refinance these loans. A lot of these loans were written around 3%. Today's prevailing rates for such assets are now 6%. So, extended pretend, fire sale. Again, these are trophy assets. The creme de la creme. It is going to be interesting to watch, especially for trophy assets in problem cities like San Francisco. Next up, I don't know if you've heard from King Gavin Newsom lately, but he has successfully driven 500,000 Californians out of the state. The great state of Texas, Arizona, and Nevada have recommended him being the Realtor of the Year. I think that is hilarious. But yes, for the first time in my adult life, California has lost populations 2 years in a row. Looks like Apple is investing $300 million in Vietnam. Yes, folks, Apple is serious about getting out some of their manufacturing out of China. You have already heard them, and you've talked about it on this channel, going to India. Now you have a $300 million investment in Vietnam, and I am sure there is more to come. Yesterday, we saw the biggest jump in home builder sentiment, positive jump since 2013. Why? Mortgage rates. Interestingly enough, mortgage rates are up about 0.5% since this survey. But yes, home builder sentiment went up, activity, thoughts on building, things of that nature. It'll be very interesting to see how these higher rates work in the builder sentiment next month. Do we reverse? Does it go flat? Whatnot. JP Morgan is out with a pretty negative article about the stock market, basically saying, hey, the stock market gains for 2023 are going to be had in Q1, which again is about halfway over. And after that, it's choppy to down. You've heard about zombie companies. You and I have talked about, I forget what the percentage is. Let's call it 15-20% of the Russell 2000 are zombie companies that are living off debt, that don't produce positive cash flow or positive income. They're going to die once their money runs out. Apparently now we have to worry about zombie VCs. Yes, venture capitalists are currently running on past successes, running on past investments, and they can't raise more capital. So these VCs will just dry up and wither away. Got a question about retail sales. Remember retail sales yesterday up crazy 3%. The day before we talked about inflation being up 0.5% month on month. Got a question from the audience about, hey, is retail sales inflation adjusted? No, it is not. Retail sales is a nominal number. So for example, if you and I were to go out and buy 100 gallons of gas, the same last month and this month, but this month the gas costs double, retail sales would double. So again, inflation adjusted just quickly, right? We saw CPI headline up 0.5 month on month, retail sales up 3%. It's not a perfect one-to-one ratio, but you could certainly subtract 0.5% from 3% and say retail sales were still up 2.5% on a somewhat inflation adjusted. Again, it is not perfect. There's a lot of other things inside the inflation number, but again, that just shows you how strong retail sales were. Retail sales, even if you strip out the full inflation impact, was up 2.5%. The consumer is strong. Again, you would expect it, right? Unemployment's at 3.5, lowest since 1958. It is what it is. New York Fed model. This is important. There's a New York Fed model that takes into account all of the leading economic indicators. It is now saying the chances of a recession are 57% in the next 12 months. Why is that important? This particular Fed indicator has a 100% accuracy every time it's over 50%. And as I just said, it is reading 57%. And I want you to note that this reading of 57% today is higher than 2008, higher than 2000. In fact, the last time this indicator was this bad, you have to go back to 1980. That's not good, folks. That's Paul Volcker, double dip, nasty recession. Boise housing market. Again, somebody, if you don't follow, that you should, Lance Lambert. His Twitter handle is News Lambert. Talked about the great city of Boise. Boise lost another 1.37% in a month. It is down 7 consecutive months. It is down 26% from the peak. However, since March of 2020, Boise is still up 32.7%. Folks, Boise is up 32% from March of 2020 after being down 26% from the peak. That just shows you how crazy Boise was. Small market. You can go back on my channel 9-10 months ago and I said Boise, Reno, and Phoenix would be the most troubled markets, and I think I got at least 2 of those 3 right. A couple of earnings came out that I thought were interesting. Roku beat top, beat bottom. Shout out Kathy Wood. I like to call out Kathy Wood when she makes a mistake. Let's give her some credit. Beat top, beat bottom. I wouldn't be shocked if their stock was up, but I will highlight Roku lost $1.70 a share. Their expectation was to lose $1.73. So I will say that again. They beat earnings expectation because they only lost $1.70. That's not good. That's not good. Twilio beat on revenue. Cisco Systems beat top line, beat bottom line, and boosted expectations. Why is Cisco Systems important? You and I have talked about Cisco Systems every quarter for the last 6 quarters. To me, Cisco Systems is that technology company that tells me about the world, what is going on with the world economy. And if Cisco is getting to the other side of what might have been a worldwide recession and raising guidance, that is good news. How about Zillow? Zillow beat top line, beat bottom line. Zillow made $435 million. Profit, like they didn't lose $1.70 like Roku. They actually had $435 million in profit. No idea. And then finally we got Boston Beer. Boston Beer is beating on unit volume. Unfortunately, their margins. Yes, folks, inflation is still a problem. Boston Beer sold more units but made less money because they collapsed margins. And at the end of the day, something I want to close on is a video I probably will do in the next 24 hours. I believe that the housing market needs higher rates. You and I celebrated when rates broke 5.9, went to 5.99. They broke under 6. You and I have been talking about the housing market on the affordable going crazy. It is not healthy. If rates, the 30-year mortgage stayed below 6%, I don't even want to imagine what would happen. Folks, again, this year, the housing market is still broken. We're only going to do about 4 million units. Rates need to be in the 6s. It just does. The only thing that is going to fix this is time. We need to get through this. Folks, let me show you. This is an active port. We are just about to leave Jakarta. Show you the great city of Jakarta. And if you ever want to feel like a millionaire, come to Indonesia, Jakarta, do an exchange. I exchanged $200, not knowing the currency exchange, and I got back $3 million. I'll say that again. I gave him $200 US, and I got back 3 million, just over 3 million. I was walking around with 3 million Indonesian currency. I think it's the rupee, but I'm not positive. All right, folks, take care. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.